NaQuandra Brown. Hey, NaQuandra, what's going
Hi,
on?
how are y'all?
All
Hello,
right,
sister. How are you?
all right.
Good.
And let me introduce you to my biological and groove brother, Sergeant Clayton Brown.
Greetings, sister. Greetings. How are you?
Good. How are you?
Now I
All
see three
right.
Browns on the panel here. So,
I know.
are we related somehow?
I
Well, I
know
was
I'm related
married
to one of
into
them.
it.
I heard a long time. You married into it.
Yes.
Oh, okay. Well, you have good
Okay.
taste then. All right. Yes, yes, yes. Oh, yes. Okay. There is Brother Robert Hicks. Brother Robert Hicks, how are you, Solomon?
Greetings, brother.
Oh, thank you, everyone. WB Clayton, Sister NaQuandra. I'm saying that correctly?
Yes.
Yes,
Yes.
I hate butchering names, and
Yeah, me too. So
I
what we
know.
going me too. So what we're gonna do for this broadcast, she also goes by Quan. Is that
Yes.
okay to call you Quan?
Yes, it is.
Okay, let's make this easy for everyone. And I'm excited about this because her field is very, very interesting. But before I get into that, and hopefully Sister Tiffany uh, Hilliard will be joining us because we posted that you would be on, she said, yay. So I don't know whether you know Tiffany Hilliard or not.
Yes, I do. Yes,
Okay,
I do.
great. And then we have Nikaya Watts. Now, Nikaya is also a track coach. So she may be on a little late if she can make it. And then we have Tanisha Holmes. You know Tanisha? She's also a
Um,
swing.
I don't think so.
Okay, well, hopefully you get a chance to meet her today. Let me just share with the audience what is Groove Swing Speaks. Groove Swing Speaks is a program we established last year with the help of my great friend and my great swing sister, Rock. And Rock, I have to acknowledge her. And maybe one day she'll come from behind the scenes and come on camera with us. But she does a magnificent job with us. I mean, we couldn't have the program that we have and the successes that we've had without Rock. And so I just want to publicly announce, Rock, we love you and keep doing a great, great job. And we really appreciate that. But Groove Swing Speaks, we cover a host or a myriad of topics and professionals and vocations. We cover anything from medicine, uh, mental illness, business, music, and this is brand new for us. Today, we're going to talk about travel, but we cover the gamut as far as professions are concerned. And we try to bring out the best and maybe motivate someone who thought about going into a particular field, didn't know how, and provide some valuable information on how they can obtain that dream of theirs. It could be a book that you've been waiting to publish, okay? And we do our best to help you get it off the shelf. Okay. Hey, Rock, we love you too, girl. And no question
Mhm.
about it. No question about it. Oh, this is Tiffany. Oh, boy. We've been waiting for you, Tiffany.
Hey,
Hey, Tiff.
Tiffany.
Hello, hello, everyone. Hola, my sister.
Hello.
Yeah, I understand you know each other.
Oh,
Yes.
yes,
That's
yes.
wonderful. I was just telling Quan that when I posted that the flyer and she knew that you were coming on, she said, "Yay! Okay, so cool. This is going to be real cool. This is going to be a fun show today." Uh, Quan has a very interesting vocation, and we're going to have some fun because it's a fun uh, uh, business that she has. Uh, Quan is a travel agent, and Quan, if I understand correctly, you have your own travel agency. Is that correct?
Well, I'm under a host agency, but yeah, I'm independent. It's my business.
Okay, all right, that's your business, and I understand that. And all of us, most people love to travel, and I'm just going to start the question off. I have a ton of questions I want to ask you, uh, and that is, what made you decide that this is what I want to do? I want to get into traveling. Is it that you love traveling? Did someone else motivate you to do that? Do you have a family member that's in that business? Uh, is it none of the above or all of the above?
Actually, it was family, and I also love to travel. So every year for my grandma's birthday, I'll always be the planner to find out where we would go every year, book the accommodations, so that our family and ourselves can come together. So basically, I was the unofficial travel agent for the family, and I did that for a couple of years. And then I had someone to reach out to me, and they were like, "Would you be interested in becoming a travel agent?" I said no for so long, but then I turned around. I was like, you know what? Why not? This is something I love to do. I love planning trips and turning maps into memories. That's my slogan.
Mm-mm.
All right.
And I'm gonna toss this over to someone who's traveled practically around the world, if not around the world, and that's my brother Clayton. So Clayton, what questions
Yes.
do you have for Quan?
Hello, Quan. How are you? And greetings, and I'm glad to meet you. The question I have at this moment, with the climate that's going on around the world today, what areas do you deem safe for us to go and travel?
I like this question, and I always say you have to be smart when you travel.
Yeah.
If you're gonna go out there and go into unknown chartered territories, any place can be unsafe. America is unsafe,
Mm.
to be honest, if you think about it from the outside in. But I mean, I just it's just when you go, you just have to be smart. You can't go and just wander off by yourself. Get a tour guide. So I deem any place safe, but of course, my clients, they've always felt safe in the Caribbeans. So that's where majority of my clients go, despite what is on the travel pages and stuff like that. But I just feel like as long as you travel smart and don't just try to wander off in unknown territories, a lot of places can be deemed safe.
Are there any red flags out there? Because we have, not we as our panel, but America really has ticked some people off across the world.
We
And is there some red flags of where not to go? That's what I'm trying to get to. Because
None that I really haven't heard, honestly, because of the state of the world. It's been more countries more inviting,
yeah,
giving us more citizenships or actually paying us to go live in their country. I know Europe is one of those countries. So I don't have any, or there's nothing that's been on our radar. Um, that's super bad. Of normally, they say don't travel to Cuba, but I've known plenty of people to go there. And of course, Haiti, I'm pretty sure that might not be a safe place to travel at the moment,
hmm
due to the climate and the things that have been changed. But yeah, those will probably be the two places. But like I said, I've known people personally to travel to Cuba, including family members, and felt safe and had a great time. But if I had to pick a place, I guess I would say Haiti. It's not the best place to travel in during this climate.
Roger that. I'm gonna go ahead and pass this on to the next person. Then, thank
Yeah.
you for that.
All
I
Mhm.
right.
appreciate it.
Tiffany, you on the I see this in the chat area. You put on China. Is that a question you might have? Unmute your mic, dear.
Yeah, I was saying that's a place not to go to. Don't go to
Oh, you
China right
froze on
now.
us. Okay.
I think can you hear me?
Yes.
You can hear me?
Yes.
Okay. I was saying don't go to China. If people have been paying attention, there have been a leak of plans of war that
Oh, yeah,
was
that
leaked
happened yesterday.
out. Yeah,
Yes.
and so I wouldn't plan on going to China anytime soon. I don't know if Canada has, um, put a restriction on us. You know what I'm saying, as far as like visiting. Robert is saying yes. You're saying yes. They put a
They
restriction.
added the on the visitation now. I know they stopped our sellings of alcohols and things. So
There,
Yeah.
so
there
yeah.
have been a couple of warnings from from Canada, and basically saying just be aware of entering into the United States or visiting the United States. Actually, because one of the biggest money grabbers basically is tourism. Canada is
Mhm.
one of the neighbor up north has a lot of people who travel into Canada for vacation, travel into the United States for vacation, but the Canadian state has basically said, don't do it. Don't do it this time.
Mm-mm.
Yeah,
And
they're
it's
not
called,
playing many games with us.
right. As a matter of fact, I read something that the United States could lose over is it $100 billion in travel from traveling from them not traveling into the United States? I don't know. You can fact check me on that, whatever But I think that the ban on channel or the tariffs that's placed on or proposed tariffs that's placed on channel, I would think that it is necessary, obviously, and it's causing a lot of rift between our neighbors, Canada and Mexico. Robert, what questions do you have or statements you want to make?
I want to say this. Thank you again, Quan, for gracing us today and showing us talking to us about some of the downsides when it comes to tourism. But we'd like to find out from you, where is the most exotic place that you have ever booked a trip for a client? If you can divulge, if you are free to divulge that, because it could be
exotic
an idea for a vacation.
I don't think I've had one that's to me because Caribbeans is my thing. The most exotic. I feel like I guess for me, I don't know. It could be exotic to other people, but people love the St. Lucia area, and people love right now the DR is the favorite thing. But when I think of Caribbeans, the first thing I think of is DR, Jamaica. So I guess for my guess, it would be like the St. Lucia area. They really love how they can get that Caribbean feel, but also those beautiful mountains, at bay volcanoes. So they love St. Lucia.
Well, that's great. Ever booked for trips to Turks and Caicos?
Yes, I actually did a destination wedding at Turks and Caicos last year. So I've traveled there like 3 times myself, but that was through cruising, but actually staying over, I did a destination wedding with 81 people last year.
Wow.
Yeah,
Fantastic.
so that was really nice. Really
Wow.
nice.
I heard it. Go on, Robert. I'm sorry.
Another question I have is, in your opinion, how many vacations do you think a person should be able to make in the period of about a year? We often hear, especially in the United States, you only get about 2 weeks, and that's pretty much opportunity for one vacation. But in your opinion, like say for instance, do you book trips with family? Do you book trips for your significant other? Any other types of like girl vacations, guy vacations?
So I do the all the above. Have a couple of doing honeymoon in Barbados in a couple of months. I have a group birthday trip in Jamaica next month, cruises. So I'll say all the above. And it just really depends on you and I guess how much PTO. That's normally what it is. You always see those fun things on how to tag on your PTO onto the holidays so that you will use less time, but you can stretch out those 2 weeks if you really wanted to. But for most people, when they want to take a good break off, of course, they normally take that whole week to somewhere they want to go. But I've done trips as quick as like a long weekend, like Thursday to Sunday. And then I've done something as long as a week and a half. So it's really up to that specific person. And I guess their availability and also their funds and where they want to go.
I heard about Turks and Caicos. Never been there, but everybody that I've spoken to that they just say they have a great time. What is so fascinating about Turks and Caicos?
For me, it was the beautiful weather, the beaches. Like I've never floated in the ocean before. I was just floating in the ocean the last time I was there because that's how clear the water is.
Oh boy.
And I think the culture too. They have a really rich culture there. So Turks and Caicos is really fun, and it's just a beautiful place.
Is
And
there
you haven't really lived in Turks and Caicos until you did some parasailing. Because I did that with my daughter when we were in Turks and Caicos, and it was beautiful. You get a beautiful view of the island and everything in great view. You can see for miles away.
I'm
Just
working
don't
my nerve up to that.
do
Working my nerve up.
That sounds fascinating. Clayton?
Yes, I was just going to add to that. What's the best time of the year to go to Turks and Caicos?
People go year round there.
All
That's
year
a
round?
year. Yeah, I mean the weather never really changes. I mean, of course, everyone says stays away from like hurricane season, but honestly, we can't predict the weather. Like it'll be fine today and tomorrow. It
Mm,
could be something. That's why I promote travel insurance just in
mm,
case.
mm.
But like the weather is nice and beautiful and hot all year round. So even down to the cruises, if you don't fly over there to the cruises, they go there year round.
That's
Have you
pretty
ever
much.
been to the Fiji Islands? That's one place I always wanted to go.
No, I haven't. I had a client that was interested in it, but I haven't. I feel like I've only touched a little piece of the world, and I'm just the more and more I get more clients, my bucket list gets bigger, bigger and bigger.
All right, we may have to talk.
Okay.
Yes.
Oh, that sounds like fun. I had a friend that was born in Fiji, and he was telling me how beautiful it is there. And you barely hear about Fiji anymore. You barely hear about it. You know, I guess they want to stay out of the line where they don't want to get involved with the mess or anything like that. So, and Robert put up a funny comment. He said, "Don't go to 1600 Pennsylvania."
That's the
What is that a war? Is
you
it
know.
is that a war zone, Rob? Rob, is that a war zone or something?
Uh, it, just probably just understanding what's been going on.
Oh boy.
That's just it was basically just a horrid comment about it, but in essence, the understanding where even some places that people say that don't go to this state, don't go to that state, don't go to this city because of certain things that are happening, dynamics. But this does not mean that every other place. Washington D.C. does have a lot of culture associated with it on the
yes. I
outskirts.
used to live there.
Definitely, you want to be, for those who are listening, you can want to travel to DC, see lots of various different sites, museums. You get tours around various different cities and sample some of the culture, the music as well. So definitely, it is a great city to visit, just like say New York, Chicago, Los Angeles, Miami,
Hmm.
Houston. Oh, Houston. Yeah, we'll be there this July. So just to let everybody know. So,
Yes.
but definitely, just any city that you want to travel to is a wonderful city. It has the good and the bad, but look toward the good of each city.
Yeah,
Right,
I
right, right.
agree.
You know, would you give out, Quan, would you tell us if someone is listening right now and they want you to book for themselves or just their family or the family, put together a travel package for them? Uh, would you give us your information? And then, Rob, if you will, we want to post that.
Yes.
Okay. You want me to just put it in the chat or
Repeat that.
you want me to put it in the chat or
Oh, yes. Let's put it. You can put it in the chat if you like. Uh, you can put that in the chat.
okay.
But also, we have a large portion of our audience. They are audio only on Facebook and
Okay.
LinkedIn and YouTube are we audio and video. But we also have an app that's Studio W Buzz, and that's in your Apple App Store. You can also hear us on Alexa and the website. And this program will be up on the website in about 24 hours or so. I know my uh, engineer and also graphic designer, he plays so many roles here. He's behind on getting our program up on the website, programs rather on the website, but they'll be there under featured shows. But right now, you can go to YouTube and listen to us now. That's live, and we'll also put that on the home page as well. So let's see. Let's do this. Oh, Robert had mentioned something about Jamaica. That's a place that I've always wanted to go. I'm sure you've been there, Quan.
Yeah.
Okay. How much fun did you have?
A lot of fun. I love Jamaica. I've That's one place I can keep going back to because it's just so much to see and so much to explore. I've went over there and stayed at the resorts there. I've cruised there, and it just feels like I still need to go back to do more things. I haven't did the newest hike, which is the Negril area with Rick's Cafe and stuff. So I'm excited to go back and do that. But the last time I was there, we did the Dunn's River Fall, we did the party boat. So they took us across a beautiful island and they let us snorkel and they gave us some of the best beef patties. I wish I could get back here. And the food is just so good. It's
Oh
so
boy.
good.
Now, did you? Now, I know there are certain areas you can go, and you could even go back into. I understand because I don't know. I'm only hearing stories, and people say, well, you can also like you have your inner part of Jamaica, but also back in the outer skirts. You can go back and to the villages and things of that nature. Did you go that far outside of the central area?
Well, the we went to Montego Bay. That's where like the resort was. It was like a little bit outside of Montego Bay, which was I think it's called Foulmouth, Jamaica. That's where I stayed at my resort. But then they took us to Ocho Rios, which is like an hour outside of Montego Bay. And then I heard that on the other side, on the east side, is where like Negril and stuff is. So we had some great tour guides, so they took us through certain areas. One time I went there, they let us try like their fresh herbs, like right off the tree and stuff like that. So
Hmm.
I was able to do that at the Blue Hole. That's what it was. It's called the Blue Hole, which is fresh spring water where you can drink the water actually. But they've made that kind of an excursion, big stop there with the beautiful waterfalls and stuff. So yeah, it's really nice.
I love, you know, I tell you what, I love the dialogue. I love the uh what's the word I'm looking for? I love to hear Jamaicans speak. I just love the language.
Yes.
I, I, I
The,
hear
the
my
accent, the accent, the patois, if you say.
right, right. And I tell you to the audience also, what when I got fascinated several years ago, my fascination grew for Jamaica. I read this book called Reggae Bloodlines, and I invite anybody to listen to read that book, Reggae Bloodlines. It tells you all about how Jamaica, how they gained their independence as well. It tells you a lot about the history, the culture, and it's just fascinating. And also, a lot of people think, and I need to be fact checked. Fact check me if you want, but we think that rap music started here. I believe that it started in Jamaica. There were a couple of guys used to go around and they have their equipment in a van, and the two cats were named Iroy and Uroy. Going, I mean, this. Check out the book, Reggae Bloodlines. So, Clayton, I'm gonna go to you, and then Tiffany.
Oh, go ahead. Let Tiffany go ahead and speak it.
Tiffany,
Okay, so we know that you are a travel agent and that is something that you enjoy doing. But reading the brief bio that we have, it says something about you being a compliance specialist. Can you elaborate more on that?
Yeah, so my day job, I am a compliance specialist and I basically just make sure everyone's following the rules and I QA their work just to make sure we're not going to be any risk for any legal things or lawsuits or anything of that nature. So that's what I do by day, just to make sure people follow the rules. I think that's a good way to put it.
Okay, what is it that you well, not what is it that you do, but like what is the name of your company that you work for?
I work for Duke Health.
Okay,
Mhm.
awesome. Cool.
and again, will you please tell us how, if someone wants to reach you, how do they reach you if they want to book a trip, whether it's a single person or family, or maybe a group of people? How do they contact you?
Okay, so on Facebook, you can reach out to me through NaQuandra Brown. I have a public pin post that'll take you to my booking website, um, or you can go to, well, it's a little hard, but it's www.bit.ly/Shamir Travel, which is SHERMERE travel. That's another way that you can get in contact with me. But I'm on all social medias that you could think of. So I'm easily, you can find me very easily. I have public platforms, and most of my business have been through word of mouth. So I appreciate anyone reaching out to me.
Oh, great, great, great.
Great.
Well, I tell you what, if you will also share this broadcast with your friends and clients and potential clients. Let's see. Clayton, now, what do you have?
Yes, yes, yes. Uh, Tell me, tell the people, and I've used travel agents before. Tell the people what's the advantage of using a travel agent as opposed to trying to book your package yourself.
The biggest perk for using a travel agent, basically, what my motto is: I plan, you pay. So once you get there, everything will just be, you know, thought out for you. So you can just relax and, have a vacation. If there's anything going on with your travel or any updates or changes you need to be made, that's my role. You don't have to be on the phone trying to figure those issues out. And some people, most of my clients lately have been first time travelers. So just to navigate them and connect them with people, because as travel agents, we have to network. And so we make relationships with these people outside of the country or even within the States. So just booking with someone with a wealth of knowledge, and who wants to do all that work while they're about to go on vacation? Because, things may happen. So my job as a travel agent is just to make sure that it's just as smooth as possible. I tell people any anytime or you really don't know, commission is really booked into your travel already. So why not support someone that you know versus a random person? So
Hmm.
that's another, reason just to support, these business owners who are taking their time doing the research and just trying to, gather everything so that you can just have the best vacation.
Hmm. Okay.
That sounds cool. And
Mhm.
one of the things that um, I had experienced because I'm retired Air Force, one of the things that people tend to walk into a problem is that they don't know the culture and thinking that they can do some of the same things they can do in the United States.
Correct.
So, can you elaborate on that a little bit for the people listening?
Like I said earlier, just you have to be smart. You're going to go to these other places, most places that people travel. Tourism is their biggest, income, but, no one, nowhere is truly, fully safe. So, make sure, a lot of people, you'll be surprised, even though you have travel agents, people are on social media all day. Have access to a wealth of knowledge. But when you do travel these places, try to, immerse in their culture, learn more about them so you can have a better appreciation. I know when I travel as well, even though we're on these exotic areas, you also get to see the real life. They're
Mhm.
not all living, the way we vacation. So I would just say, take the time to, immerse in their culture, be respectful. You're coming into their home as you
Right.
want someone to be respectful coming into our country.
Yeah.
Roger, Roger that.
I,
Thank you.
yeah, yeah, I can go along with it. In other words, don't leave the United States, go somewhere else and act like a fool. Don't do it.
And especially the Middle Eastern countries, you have to be very mindful of the Middle Eastern countries because women, you cannot go in there not properly dressed, certain places.
Correct.
So
Correct. Dubai is the biggest rural place that I know. So I'm just trying to do my best to continue to study their culture and what their rules are. Because of course Dubai is beautiful, it's an amazing spot. But
yeah,
when I say they don't play any games,
They
they
don't
don't
play.
play any games.
No.
So, and that's another perk of when you ask me about using a travel agent, we are educated. We do do education. We do connect with tour guides and stuff, so people will be able to guide us. So once we send our people over there, like you're not surprised, you know.
Great.
But yes, you have to definitely be very respectful of, you know, the different countries and their
Absolutely.
culture.
Yeah, thank you for that.
Yeah, really appreciate it. I've got a question. Uh, say you're a business owner or a business owner out there. He wants to take his group on a vacation. Uh, can he use like his DUNS number or his corporate number to get a group discount going
Yeah,
through? Okay. Now, do you need the DUNS number and or the tax ID number or just the DUNS number?
it kind of depends on, like, I guess specifically where they want to go. Of course, for me, um, my goal is about you making memories, not me making money. Or, you know, I feel like this wouldn't be a passion of mine. It'll be more like a job. So if I can find you the best deals, or your, you know, your corporate area has special perks and codes, I can definitely use those and make sure you're getting the best prices as well.
Mhm. And now, does that go for travel, hotel, the entire package?
Cruises, they normally, yeah, it's everywhere. Yeah, because some certain, I know hotels is a big one that they have like special deals and special codes, that they can use to get off, you know, a certain percentage off, or if you book a certain amount of rooms or a certain amount of cabins. There's always perks in that, especially with groups. Groups have seemed to be my new thing, that I'm diving into, adding that to my niche. So, like I said, last year I had 81 people um, go to Turks and Caicos, but I also had a CEO who wanted to do bonuses as cruises. So I booked that for him and his company as well. And his employees were able to, you know, take a vacation on a good, that was their bonus for the year. So,
Oh, that's pretty cool. That's pretty cool.
mhm.
Tiff?
Um, so William, I just want to ask you, when you get ready to book this trip for us, let me know so in advance, so that you know, I can properly plan and, you know, purchase what
Yeah.
to purchase.
I,
Please let me know.
absolutely, I will. Absolutely, I will. You know, we have a few steps to go, a few more things we need to do, then we'll do something like that, okay? You know, and that's why we need everybody out there to share this amazing, amazing platform with your friends, your family, whether you groove, whether you swing, and it doesn't matter, you know, and your family. And also bring them around each and every Tuesday to listen to our program. Um, because there's so much valuable information that's disseminated here on Groove Swing Speaks. This is what we do. The panel is made up exclusively of grooves and swings. We're missing a couple of swings tonight and another groove, but that's okay. Uh, and I want to thank my panel also. You guys are doing a wonderful job, and you, along with Rock, you guys make this program what it is. I couldn't do it without you. I really appreciate that. I had a couple more questions, and Clayton stole two of them. Okay.
Of course I did.
That's what little brothers do, huh?
That's what we
Yeah,
do.
absolutely. So, tell us. I know you mentioned Turks and Caicos. You mentioned Jamaica. You mentioned Dubai. What other fun places have you been?
I recently went to Barbados, which, oh my God, I think that's top three for me, places to visit. Barbados recently.
Hmm.
Where else have I been? I really have my fair traveling in the Caribbean. So the DR, Jamaica. I went to no, where did I go last year? Lord Jesus. Okay, I went to Dominican Republic, different parts of Dominican Republic before, so that was really nice. But yeah, just the Caribbeans is my favorite. I'm a water person. I love the beach. That makes me a happy person. Um, that makes me a happy person. I mostly traveled far as out of the states, um, to the Caribbean area. So anywhere in the Caribbean where it's nice, pretty water, sign me up.
You know, it's pretty cool. What I really love, when I love someone, love about someone who loves what they're doing, and it sounds like you just absolutely have a passion for what you're doing with this travel. And I know when Rock recommended that we talk, I said, travel, okay. This ought to be fun. And it is. It's very a lot of fun talking to you about that and listening to your experiences. And speaking of that, and speaking of different cultures, what culture fascinated you as far as the makeup of the land, the government, or whatever, how the, the places governed or the people and or the friendliest places and the friendliest places that you've been to?
Barbados for sure. Like that felt like home. It was super safe. I was prepared to not wear, when you go to Barbados, you cannot wear any army fatigue at all. Their culture there is totally reserved for those in the army. But when I went to Barbados, it just felt like home. Like everywhere we walked and went, everybody had a smile on their face. They said good morning. If we were lost or not sure
Mhm.
of certain places, it wasn't nothing for them to like help us there. So I would say Barbados thus far. And then on Fridays, even though they do it all the time, but they have this big major fish fry on Fridays where everybody just come out,
Mm.
let loose, and you can go to different stations and just try their different foods. But for sure, that was the top of my list. They were very, very nice and welcoming
Mm.
there.
Let's get back to the food. Let's get back.
You
And
said fish fry. Okay, we're on.
yeah, yeah, I love seafood. I love seafood. And
Me too.
can you taste the difference? Because I'm sure that there is fresh right out of the water. And
Yes,
can you tell the difference in the flavor of it?
you really can. I get the freshest food out of state. You'll be shocked at how much is banned. Um, when you go to other countries and things of that nature, I would think that yeah, Jamaica for me, far as the food was the best thus far out of the
Mhm.
states. In state, I will send you to New Orleans for dinner every single night if I could. Um, I love food and
Oh,
I love seafood.
oh, I love it.
But yes, it's really fresh. Like, and the, you could just taste it, and it's just like, wow, why don't we have this here?
Uh, now,
So
okay, they have. I'm sure they have shrimp too and crab and all of this good stuff there. Because I've gone to local restaurants. I'm not gonna give them a plug because they're not paying us. But anyway, you can the shrimp doesn't taste like shrimp when I was growing up. It looks
that's
like
a
it, but it
lot of
doesn't taste
things.
like it.
I
You know,
think a lot of things have changed since.
Yeah.
We have way more chemicals in our food here,
uh,
just to be honest. And you could just
yeah.
tell about it's just altering biology if you go on the healthcare side of, it used
Mhm.
to be if your mom's short, your dad's short, your son's short. Now it's your mom's short, your dad's short, your son is 6 feet tall. So
Mm.
that has a lot to do with a lot of the chemicals and things that
Oh
we
wow.
put
Wow.
in our food here.
Mm.
Mhm.
Robert.
I see that Tiffany did have a question she wanted to pose. I'll throw it to Tiffany, and then I will pick up on the next question.
Okay, Tiff.
So, some questions that I received was, what do people need when it's time to book? What type of research do you suggest customers do before reaching out? And what's the deal with all inclusive? And do you advise to book those? What's the difference?
Okay, so when people book with me, I just need to know your realistic budget. We're still working on that as adults, but being realistic, and that can kind of help me navigate on like where I should even send you. I'm not gonna look for Bora Bora um, if you have like a $1,500,
Mm.
budget. So the things I need from people just basically come with like a realistic budget and just maybe some areas they would like to choose. I had another client that wanted to travel for like 4 days, and she's like, "I just want to go on a girls trip. Where should we go?" But she wanted to go somewhere hot when it's cold, but in America. Um, Fun fact, America does not have that any all inclusives, despite what
Mm.
some people may advertise. It's not fully all inclusive. But of course, the nice Caribbean-esque or beautiful beaches, of course, Miami, but Puerto Rico, and then we have the U.S. Virgin Islands. But just to go back on your question, I just really need you to have a realistic budget, kind of when you want to go, and places, you know, that you decide that you would like to go, just to help me. And then if you're unsure, we can get on the phone and figure it out together.
Mhm.
Um, what's the deal with all inclusive? All inclusives are great. I love all inclusive because it just means, it depends on where you go. Depends on the resorts. Like, some all inclusives could include water sports like paddle boarding or bike riding, or I forgot what we went on in Turks and Caicos, but it was like a little boat, and they just put us out in the water, and then they turned us back around. But that was because of the resort that we went to, which was Beaches, which is the sister resort to Sandals. But it includes your food, drinks, alcohol. That's why people love all inclusive. So you can kind of go there and stay, and you really don't have to go anywhere. Especially my solo travelers, they love all inclusives because most resorts, they're planning things for you to do every day. You could do adults only if, that's the option that you would like to have. Most of my clients like adults only, but then they do have a lot of beautiful family friendly things, and they always have activities. So that's the deal with all inclusives. And a lot of people do love, all inclusives, or cruising, but cruising is not all inclusive, it includes all your food, but as far as the alcohol package, that is additional, um, on there. So it's just the bit, it's a preference thing, to be honest. But my clients are 50-50. One day they want to cruise, the next day they want to fly over and relax.
Mm.
So
I
Ex-
got you. Yeah, I'm glad you mentioned that because I was gonna ask like, what is the significant difference between taking a cruise and then doing things the travel agent's way, but you kind of like just touched on that, and so
yes.
because
And
I
the
was
other big thing with the cruises, I already cut you off, Tiffany. Well, that right now is still kind of my favorite way to travel with cruises, and that's because you can go to so many places in a short amount of time. So back to the question, that Robert had asked me. One, it depends on how you want to travel. You can cruise for 7 days, and you can go to three different countries, or four, depending on, who you, cruise with. Or like all inclusives, of course, you just stay at that one location and you can divert, emerge in that culture, and things like that. So that's the two biggest things. You have to add on the drink packages for cruises, but it includes all food, outside of specialty restaurants, but all inclusive includes everything at that resort.
mm.
awesome, cool. My other question is, because we don't have long. Outside of the traveling and your day job, I do want to pinpoint that this is Women's History Month. And so, just little sidebar here. What woman that you know or probably personally don't know has had the most influence on you?
My mom, I am turning into a mini me every single day. My mom, I tell her that all the time. She's my best friend. A single mom. She just got a heart of gold, patience of a saint. Like, my mom is definitely my role model. And, I'm recognizing it myself also. My husband, he's like, yeah, I feel like it. It's not a bad thing, but it's just like he sees the similarities between us two. So yeah. Shout out to you, mom. I'm sure you're watching because I
Well,
text
great.
the links.
Awesome. Thank you.
How often do during the course of a year? How often do you personally, and you and your family, your husband, you have children also?
Not at the moment.
Okay. How often do you and your husband get a chance to get away and travel?
Our biggest thing is normally our anniversary. So every July, during nationals, um,
Mhm.
we are traveling somewhere. So sometimes I'm there, sometimes I'm not. Missing out on Easter this year, but I'll see y'all in Chicago. Um, but we sometimes do date, weekend trips too, because it's not all about international. I know that's what most people are engaged in, but there's a lot of places to see in the United States as well.
Mhm.
So it could be a weekend to cabins or the mountains here. I currently live in North Carolina, and the perk is you can go 2 hours to the beach and 2 hours to the mountains.
Mm.
And so we just kind of take advantage of that time. DC is a big spot, but that's home for him. But we've also been tourists there as well. When we go, if it's a new spot that's open, a new restaurant,
Mm.
family and friends want to try. So it just depends, weekenders, but like the international, I'll say like 2 or 3 times. This year we're going to Curacao for a week in June. That's a beautiful island in the Caribbean, it's close to Venezuela. It's like 30 minutes from Venezuela. So we're going to explore that. We cruised there, but we didn't stay there long. But once we were there, it reminds us of like Europe and the Caribbean. It's like the beautiful, colorful
Mhm.
houses or buildings that they have there. So we're excited to go there. So we go a couple of times a year. People say we're always on the go, but planning and preparation is key. That's the biggest thing I could tell people when we're on vacation. We're looking for our next spot, where to go.
Mhm.
And yes, travel can be expensive, but if you plan and prepare in advance, um, I do payment plans and I'm very flexible. So
Mhm.
that's why I always tell my clients as well. So if you have a thought in your head and think you maybe want to go ahead and reach out to me so that we can,
That's fantastic.
yeah.
You know, and speaking of the United States, one of the most fun places. Well, I'm thinking about the many states that I visit. I had a chance to visit, uh, and New Orleans
Yeah.
happens to be my favorite. The food there and the
Yes.
people are so friendly.
Yes.
They are extremely friendly. It just was an amazing spot. I was encouraged. And the last time I was there, I believe it was 2008, because I think Katrina hit them in 2005,
Mm-hmm.
if I'm correct.
Mm-hmm.
I was supposed to go in
So,
2005, and because of the hurricane devastating a lot of New Orleans, I didn't go. But I did have a chance to go in 2008, and the cap. I mean, what the cherry on the top of it, I got a chance to go to a Stevie Wonder concert, and I had
mhm.
backstage passes.
Oh,
It was
cool. That's
incredible.
really cool.
What's your favorite spot in the U.S. that you've had a chance to visit?
You just said it, New Orleans. I love New Orleans.
Mhm.
I had a great time. Just like you said, just immersing in their culture, eating really good. I went 2 years ago. I think it's been 2 years since we went had nationals there. And before that, we took a road trip with some friends. And then New Orleans was one of the stops. So I love New Orleans, and I would say I also love, I would say Puerto Rico as well. And that's because you can get the beach and city at the same time. So I've been there a couple of times. So those been my favorite spots
Mhm.
to travel to thus far.
Puerto Rico, speaking of which, and they were devastated a few years back. Well, going back with 20, I'm thinking 17, 18, when they were devastated with
Hmm.
the storms. Have they rebuilt quite a bit, or?
Yes, they have. I was there last year. They have rebuilt quite a bit. They have such a strong community too. They're very friendly as well. They're in Puerto Rico, but yeah, they're still building, but it
Okay,
looks like what
coming back
they're
strong.
looking like. Hmm.
Great, great. Clayton?
Oh yes. Well, I didn't have any more questions because she seemed to have answered everything. Um, but one of my favorite places that I've ever been was Madrid, Spain.
Nice.
Uh, the only problem that I had, I could not speak Spanish. And if you know Spanish, you could get around most of Europe. And I
Yeah.
was stationed in Italy
Google
for
Translator is what I tell my clients.
now they have that. Then they did not.
Mm,
I was stationed in Italy for 3 years, and
Oh,
they
nice.
have a Latin-based uh, dialogue. But the islands, I would love to be able to go there. I just renewed my passport back in September, so I plan to use it. So
Mm.
hopefully I can get in contact with you and get that started. So that's
Yes, well, I
about as
really
much as I.
appreciate it.
Yeah,
Travel
yeah.
has increased since COVID. After everyone was able to get out of the house, they've gotten out of the house. So there's been an increase of, people getting passports and just, wanting to explore more.
Okay. I want to thank Robert
For
for
most of
putting.
your trips, do you have to have a passport for most of the trips that you book?
Yeah, most of
You
them
do.
are
Okay.
international. But if you want to go international but don't have a passport, cruising is the way to go as long as you have your birth certificate and social security card. Most cruises, you can go and visit those countries and come back. But I always tell my clients just have a passport just in case you miss the boat.
Roger that.
No
Yeah,
one's missed it though,
Oh
yeah.
boy.
but
Oh, absolutely. I tell you, my passport is up for renewal, and I wasn't sure that I was going to renew it, but just like Robert said,
Do it.
things that's things that's going
Do
on
it.
is 1600 Pennsylvania Avenue. I think I'm going to
yeah,
go down to the passport office and renew that baby.
yeah,
But no, I tell you, I've had a chance to. I One of my favorite places also was Greece. I had a chance to
yes,
go to
that's on
Greece.
my list.
Oh yeah. Uh, Also, I went to Turkey. Now, guys, they are some of the strongest uh, hustlers in the world. They will chase you down the street trying to sell you something, right? And
hmm
whether it's fake cologne or whatever it is. Uh, uh, and also, I bought two really nice leather jackets there. I'm just going to have to share. I'm going to share this with the audience. And so you have to be careful when you travel, also because you could get ripped off. I walked into this shop, and they had these beautiful uh, reversible jackets, suede on one side, leather on the other. I walked in, I saw one. This thing was tan, it was beautiful, and it had a price tag on it for $2,000. I said, "Oh no, 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 uh-uh." And so the guy tried. He said, "Okay, I tell you what, 1,500." I said, "No, no, no." I went next door. The same shop was there, and he was going to sell me the same jacket for $800. No, no. Mm. I went to the third shop, and I said, "Okay, I see what's going on here." And so we started uh, negotiating here. I walked out
hmm
not only with one, but one blue and one tan, $400 combined. Now, keep in mind, you got a lot of travelers. They see something they like. They say, "Oh,
hmm
$2,000. Oh, here's my card." So you have to be careful when you travel because they know
Hmm.
that
Yes,
you're
definitely
not
Yeah,
negotiate.
yeah.
We
They
did
they
that in Mexico.
they love
And
to
it was
barter.
over
They love
something
to
small
barter
as
over
a
there.
picture frame. I was like, no, over there.
how
They
much.
have it for $15. It was just something as low as a picture frame. But yes, when you're in those markets, definitely negotiate because they take advantage. Some of them have the mindset that we're rich over here. So they want to see how rich we are. So
Mhm.
yeah, definitely negotiate and don't buy the first thing you like. And once they see you going in and out, they're like, I'll work out a deal for you.
Yeah.
I heard Africa was the worst though. So
Hey, Clayton, your friend Jackie, our friend Jackie, she says, "Clayton, my passport is still active." Yeah, I'm
Jackie's
gonna have to
ready to
get mine.
go.
Yeah, absolutely. Keep it going. Yep, absolutely. Uh,
Yeah.
Tiff- Tiffany. Oh, we've got 8 minutes, Tiff.
I'm good. I'm good. She's pretty much covered all the traveling questions that I can think of. Um, yeah, so I'm good over here.
Okay. I want to thank you guys for tuning in. Rob, what you got, man? We've got a few more minutes, 6 minutes. We've had a pleasure of having Quan on. Quan, this has been a lot of fun, a lot of fun. I'm going to put your information back up too, so the
Thank
audience
you.
on Facebook can, and tell them exactly what does it say.
It's bit.ly/Shamir Travel. That's SHERMERE. travel, and that's the way that you can get a hold of me. But
Okay.
I'd like to thank y'all for having me as well. I know we really didn't dive into it, but I am a swing as well. I turned 15 this year,
Woo-hoo.
this week,
All right.
actually.
Yeah.
Yes. And so I joined the Groove chapter, the Mother chapter, back in 2010. And so I'm part of a graduate chapter now, NaQuandra grad out of Greensboro, North Carolina. So shout out to my chapter sisters that are listening.
Yeah, and for those who aren't, you have audio only. She has some really cool swing earrings on, you guys.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I see.
Shout out to 1969 Unboxed. I love them.
They're pretty cool, pretty cool. Haven't seen those before. Rob, what do you got? Final word.
I've got to say thank you very much, Kwan, for being here on the show today. And it's very important that you are very knowledgeable of the places that you've traveled and also the cultures that you have come across, because it's definitely important to be able to have a global view because we live in
Mm,
on the globe. We live in a
mm,
global society. People, you can't really say you traveled when you just went up the street 4 blocks. When you're realizing that you can travel literally 4,000 miles to another location and basically understand the culture, you have to travel. And as important as it's kind of funny when I heard this comment, but it's the idea of, say, for instance, when people travel. Now, this is some women that I've mentioned this. You're not going to Atlanta and Miami me to death. If you're going to travel, you will be traveling outside of the country. You will be going. We will be going somewhere. That's why people. It's important to get your passport as well.
Yes.
So
yes.
I want
Yep.
to say that, and thank you everybody for being here on episode 60 of
Wow.
Groove.
Oh, wow. Congratulations.
All right. Tiffany, you have another question.
I do. Since she did bring up the that she is part of swing, and again, this is kind of reverting back to this being Women's History Month. First off, how did you get interested in becoming a swing out of all the other organizations and fraternities and sororities out there? And then since you joined, what has the growth or development been like since you've joined?
What made me interested? I'm first gen person to go to college in my immediate family. My mom beat me by 5 days with graduation, so she graduated first by 5 days. But I really didn't have, outside of like movies and stuff, I really didn't have any idea about the different sororities and fraternities. And I just so happened, it's a funny story, but I so happened to be like sitting in a common area on my university, and like a swing just came by and was like, she slammed down the flyer. She was like, come in a few minutes. And she ran off, type of thing. And I was like, did she just, you know what? I'm gonna see, because she was bold to, you don't know me. So you wasn't bold enough. So to do that. So that actually piqued my interest. So what made me interested is just like I just went and I felt welcoming, and yeah, I went from there. And so I didn't even think I was gonna join anything, to be honest. But then swing was for me, and I love the uniqueness. I love that I can educate people about Swing Five Swing Social Fellowship Incorporated, because not as many people know. Of course, D9 is more popular, but unique and non-Greek, and I love it over
Yeah.
here.
Yeah.
How have I grown? Networking, just increasing my skills. I'm currently the vice president of my chapter, but I've been president, vice president. Um, One day I'm gonna be on the national board. Don't get me crazy. Um,
All right.
so yeah, I love it, and it's just the growth of women, the sisterhood.
Mhm.
Awesome. Awesome.
Clayton?
Yeah, congratulations on that. I'm also vice president of my chapter. I was president. But one question I do have before you leave, do you put together chartered bus trips as well?
I can do the research. I'm very open to trying, and I'll do the best that I
Mm.
can. I'm very communicative, so I'll try first. I'll reach out to my resources. If it's something I can do, I definitely, try it. But I know I've tried to connect with a couple of people before to do a charter to take them to Florida one time. So I do have,
Mhm.
Yeah,
that.
because we used to
So,
have so much fun back in the day and travel from Virginia up to New York to see a Broadway play or something like that, to see the
mm,
city. It
they
was
still
it
do
was just so
those.
much fun back in the day. We don't do that as often as we used to. So it'd
Yeah.
be good to do something like that.
Right. And what Clayton is leaving out, our mother used to do that.
Yes.
That's what our mother used to do. And she wasn't a
Oh, that's
certified
nice.
travel agent or anything like that. My mom was just smart. She knew how to do things, right? And she would, anything that she did, anything she put her hands on, people would come. And so, yeah,
Mm,
uh,
that's amazing. Yeah.
amazing.
I mean, as long as you have a trustworthy person, I think that's a big part of being an agent as well. Like going with someone that you trust is especially if you're going to handle their funds or, have their information as well. So, yeah. And a lot of people don't like to mess with everybody's money. So, uh,
Absolutely.
Yeah.
that's another perk of using a travel agent as well.
I can't believe this hour has gone this quickly. I'm just
Hmm.
gonna leave you one thing. And folks, when you're traveling, especially out of the country, your mom said, act like you have some home training. You know, folks, this has been another fascinating Groove Swing Speaks show. And I want to thank you guys so much for tuning in each and every week on Studio W Buzz. Studio W Buzz. As a matter of fact, .buzz, we have studiow.com. That's for the United States. Studio W Buzz is international. It goes around the world. So thank you
Mhm.
guys for